Okay, let's move into some trig. Coco, I've told the rest of our class that I'm expecting load shedding. So if I go into the dark, I'm in the dark. I think I've made a plan with my phone, but if I disappear, I will do my best to get back on.
Okay, I will keep them entertained with my singing, which isn't so great. So
excellent. That is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Awesome.
Okay. Did someone just say no? Oh my goodness, Coco, you just got so much shade thrown your way about singing.
I got my eye on you, Shomla. I got my eye on you.
Now we should only sing every lesson, every answer. Okay, example 3. This is basically just going over what we were doing in our lesson on Tuesday. So we were looking at, we moved onto the Cartesian plane from our normal trig. What is our little rhyme that we tell ourselves for our trig ratios? What do we say? And we're going to write it at the top of every single test. Klalefo, yes, tell me. You're going to need to unmute. Not Sinkatoa. Stop. Okay, but yes, so we have Sokotoa. Sock is, let's just write it as our fraction straight away. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and then tan is opposite over adjacent. Sokotoa, that is how we always remember it. Okay. Oh, I wonder why it's not letting you unmute. That's weird. Okay, Sokotoa.
I will unmute you guys. I've turned off the unmute function, but I will unmute you.
So when I call on someone, Coco will unmute you and then we'll be fine. Okay, cool. So that is Sokotoa. Now we're moving into the Cartesian plane though. So remember when we move into the Cartesian plane, I told you the easiest thing to do is to draw yourself a little diagram. And honestly, if you just take 10 seconds at the beginning of a test that you know has trig, and you just, in a calm state, you draw these little things, you write what you need to write, then it helps you for the whole test. So it's my best advice that I can give you. We're going to draw ourselves our little triangle. Okay, we know that this would be hypotenuse because it is the longer side of a right angle triangle. We know that this would be opposite because it is opposite theta, or Peter as we like to call him in this class. And then we have adjacent, which is right next to theta over there. Okay, now we need to convert these to x, y's, and r's. The easiest one to convert is h. What is h in terms of x, y, and r? Yes, Portia, yes. That's r. Good. Okay. Now I want you to think about this line over here. Okay, it is on its axis. What is that a? Is that going to be x or y? Yes, Kelly. Yes. Okay, that's going to be x. And that means that this is going to be y. And then we can convert these to x, y's, and r's. So sine is going to be y over r. Cos is going to be x over r. And tan is going to be y over x. Okay, and once we've got that, we're sorted. That's our first bit. So my advice to you is every time you write a trig test, I would take a moment to put all of this at the top of my page when I'm calm and collected and I'm not stressed. I haven't read the questions yet. Take time to do that, and then you've got it for the rest of the test. Because as soon as you start getting stressed in maths, it's like a downhill spiral quickly. Oh, Elisa, don't worry, when it's up, yeah, thanks, Coco. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to put this information into this new triangle that we've got down here. So let's read everything they've given us. They've told us that we have x and negative 15, which means x, we don't know. X is negative 15. Oh, sorry, x is what we don't know. X we don't know. Y is negative 15. But they've also told us some important information up here. They've said that OP is equal to R and R is equal to 17, which means that this guy down here is 17. So how am I going to find x is my question to you. How am I going to find x?
Hello, ma'am.
Independently, yes.
Ma'am, so since they've told us what the hypotenuse is and what the y-axis is, then you just use Pythagoras and you go 17 squared minus negative 15 squared, and then you
Yes.
square root your answer to get x.
Excellent. Well done. Oh, you see, I just got load shedded. Okay, so we're going to use Pythagoras. That was answered so beautifully. Buchle, yes, you can use Pythagoras. So we're going to say 17 squared, our hypotenuse squared, is equal to, I'm going to write it this way. You can write it with minuses. It's totally fine. X squared plus negative 15 squared. And remember, you have to give your reason. You have to write Pythagoras. Okay, cool. Now from here, you can start working things out. So grab your calculators. I've just realized I don't have my calculator, so give me 2 seconds. Take time. I have not had our calculator in our test or our lessons. Okay, so 17 squared, we've got 289 over here is equal to x squared plus 15 squared or negative 15 squared, but it would be positive anyway, which is 225. So x squared is going to be 289 minus 225. You don't have to write all of these different steps, okay? Because they're not actually testing your Pythagoras. They're just testing that you know what to do. I'm just putting these steps here so that everyone can see what I'm doing. So we have 289 minus 225, which is 64. And so we're going to square root that 64 and see that x is then 8. Okay. So now I know that x is 8. Now at this point, I would write a little list. So it's something that we're going to be talking about quite a lot as we move through our different sections in grade 10. I like to use something called a grocery list. I'm not going shopping, but it's like a maths grocery list. So I like to write down all the information that I have for the question so that when we try and work it out, we don't have to search. Everything is right in front of us. It's kind of like if you go to a grocery store and you have a list, you get exactly what you need. Okay, so we know now x. Now we're going to look at that x. We know through Pythagoras that we got that x is 8. But I want you to have a look at the Cartesian plane and tell me if I'm there, like if I'm at that orange dot, is that 8 going to be positive or is that 8 going to be negative? Yes, it's going to be negative 8. And so we have to look at our picture and see what sign it's going to be because we're not going to find that out through Pythagoras. We can see because of its placement, it's going to be negative. If it was this side over here, it would be positive 8, but it's not. It's on the other side. So my x is negative 8, my y is negative 15, and my r, which is always positive, and one of our learners said that beautifully on Tuesday. I just don't remember who, but it was so well said. Your r, which is your hypotenuse, is always going to be positive, but we have to be careful with our x's and y's. So we have negative 8, negative 15, and then r is 17. Now we've done all this hard work. Now we can start looking at our questions. A, calculate the value of x. Glories, we've already done that because we're geniuses and we know that we should try and do as much as we can before panicking when we see our questions. All of this working out is finding our value of x. So we would have that working there and we can say therefore x is equal to negative 8. B. Now B, I would like everyone to try by themselves. Give B a try. Try and channel what we spoke about on Tuesday. See if you can figure out what B is going to be. And you can use your calculators. You don't need to do like anything fancy with fractions. Use those calculators, help you find your way. And let's see how it goes. as soon as you have answers, chuck them in the chat for me so I can see how you're doing. No answers coming through yet. Come on, I know you know what you're doing. Just do it one step at a time. Don't panic with anything. Think about what you're looking at. First find sine theta, then find tan theta. Put it into your calculator. You'll be fine. Okay, so I love the dedication to the units there, Portia. Like, I love it. It's made my heart happy. But in this case, it's not degrees. This would just be units. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Tell me if you've landed up getting at least some of the steps. Okay, so we're going to kind of break these down into different steps. B. I'm going to write our question first. We've got sine theta plus 1 over tan theta. Okay. Sine theta is y over r. So sine theta is going to be negative 15 over 17. So my first question is, did we land up getting that? If we got that, can you give me a thumbs up? If you didn't get it, can you give me a thumbs down? Just so I can get an idea of how this one went. So thumbs up as in we got it, thumbs down as in we did not get it. Okay. Okay. It's okay if you didn't get it. I would like to know what happened. If anyone who didn't get it feels brave enough, I would love to hear from you what you did. If anyone feels brave, you can either type it or you can chat to me. Wrote 7. Ah, silly banana head. 7 instead of 17. Just a silly mistake. Okay, then let's have a look at our second section. Now we've got plus 1 over tan theta. Now tan theta is y over x. So again, we look at our numbers. We say, well, y is negative 15 and x is negative 8. Okay. Now, if I was wanting to do this without using my calculator, because sometimes they will say in the question without using your calculator, a negative and a negative becomes a positive. If it's 1 divided by, it's just going to flip. So it's going to land up being 8 over 15. And then when we get to this point, we would then add. Oh, if it's your first time doing this, you really do not panic, okay? Obviously, this is going to feel horrifically out of nowhere. Don't panic. Just try and sort of sink in as much as you can for the moment. Okay, but all of our lessons are on the website, so you can see them all. Oh my gosh, seeing my calculator is a real challenge in this load shedding situation.
Oh no, guys, just let me know, is she frozen for you guys as well? Just a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Yeah, I think Ma'am is frozen. Ooh, okay. We're gonna have to give her a minute because of load shedding on her side. So yeah, let me see if I can contact her, guys. Just hold on for me. Oh, and she is gone. Oh. Okay, guys, we're just going to give her a couple of minutes. But while we're doing that, yes, you're right, Emmanuel, ESCOM is the worst. But while we're waiting for ma'am to come back, Shomla, I was about to sing for you, and now you've broken my spirit entirely. No, I'm kidding. I won't sing for you guys. It'll be a terrible experience for everyone. But while we wait for ma'am to try and connect again. Oh, here she is. Thank you. You see, she saved me. She saved me. She
What were
saved
they
me.
asking you? Oh, did you start singing?
I tried to, but Shomla was the first person to go into the chat and say, don't sing. She
So
told me not to
hurtful.
sing.
So hurtful. Narata was asking you to
It's
please sing.
okay. I don't
Sorry,
think
guys, my
Loretta
daughter
said
ran. My daughter died, so I got kicked out.
Okay,
But I'm back.
sure.
Okay.
Alright.
All right, guys. So this is how we end. So if you had written it as a decimal, you could leave it as negative 0.35. But where possible, always leave it as a fraction unless they ask you to round it off to 2 decimal places. Those of you who have never seen this before and are feeling like super lost, please don't panic. That's what our videos are online for. Watch them, get into it, and then when you get back to this, you'll be fine. I promise. Okay. Remember, other people have been doing this for 3 weeks already. Oh, you got it when I left. I'm excited, Sia. Yes, well done. Good. Okay. Okay, let's move on to today. Oh, I thought I would do this early because last week we got caught up in work and we didn't end up having one. Oh, sorry, Owami, did you have a question, sweetheart? I saw your hand pop up for a second. I'm happy to go back. No? Okay, maybe it was a mistake. Okay. Oh. This is my brain puzzle for today. Let's see who ends up getting it right. Please put your answers in the chat. Don't try and yell them at me because when you all yell at the same time, I don't know who's yelling. And then we can see who is our ultimate puzzle winner. Those of you who are new, this is not anything to do with what we are doing in class. It's literally just to give your brain a break from the trig for a second. And then we go back into trig. 23, no. 26, no. Keep the answers coming. 50, 25, nope. 14, no. 30, no. 25, no. 40, no. 120, no. Way off. 24, no. 12, no. 13, no. All of these, no. No, no, no. Owami, no. 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 Ah! Someone got it. Ah! Where did that name go? Oh my gosh. Kudlona, you have gotten the correct answer. Are you able to explain how you got it? Or at least what the trick was? Or were you guessing? No, guys, the answer was the correct answer has been given already. All of these are wrong. There we go. We have another one who's got the correct answer. Some Kelo's got the correct answer. Lorata's got the correct answer. Kamva's got the correct answer. Any of you who got it correct, do you want to tell everyone where they went wrong? What the trick was? So if you got 11.
Ma'am, that's not fair. That's cheating. I just realized how I got it wrong.
Did you fall for the trap?
I did. I fell for it so hard.
Okay, Tishfiwa, can you tell us what the trap was here?
Oh, hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I had realized you could count the little chocolate chips on the cookies.
Yes, it was the chocolate chips, guys. The chocolate chips. The chocolate chips. Okay, so this we saw was 10, 10, and 10. but that was because it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chocolate chips. And here there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chocolate chips. I've gotten you. Okay, so then let's have a look at the rest. And we know that this is 10, okay? And we need to get to 14, which means that this must be 2 and 2. So that must be 2, which means 1 banana must be 1. If that's 2, that means these 2 must be 6. So that must be 3 and 3. So we've got 3 plus 1 times 7. So 1 times 7 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. I love it when my evil plans come together. It makes my heart happy. Good. And now we can go back to trig. Okay, onto the trig train. We are going to talk about angles of elevation and depression today. Okay. Okay. Just looking at this, looking at these words, if we only were to use the words up and down, would elevation be up and down? And would depression be up and down? Depression. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be like a psychologist here. We're doing maths depression. So an angle of elevation, is that going to go up? Or is an angle of elevation going to go down? Elevation up, Kemba. And depression would be, if we're feeling sad, if we're feeling depressed, we are feeling down. Okay, so basically when we're looking at these words, elevation is telling us up, depression is telling us down. And when we're looking at angles of elevation and depression, they always are going to be with word sums, so like story sums. We're always going to have like a story sum involved in some way with angles of elevation and depression. And there has to be a right angle involved. Okay, so like let's say that Coco was standing on the top of a building. Okay, that's you, Coco. It's beautiful, I know. Okay, if she was looking down at Brad Pitt, who is standing over there. Coco is looking down at Brad Pitt. This angle here from this 90 degrees, that angle there would be the angle of depression because I'm going down. Okay, and this over here would have to be 90 degrees. So an angle of depression is like if we were looking down. If we had this exact same scenario, we have our little building and we have Coco chilling on the top of our building again, and we've got Brad Pitt at the bottom of our building, and Brad Pitt is looking, but he's like looking from the floor up somehow in some magical land. Okay, that floor up angle there, because we're going up, that would be an angle of elevation. So this would be depression.
Yeah, I'm definitely depressed now because he's very far away and I can't see him. That's why I'm just so depressed.
You have to be this. You get a bird's eye view. This is the best angle to be at.
I'd need binoculars, I think, to see proper.
He's serenading you from the floor.
Oh yes,
it's all very romantic. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So when we have, if we're dealing with elevation, we're looking at a base level and we're going up, and if we're looking at depression, we're looking at a top level and we're going down. Those are the two sort of main things to take from this. And then often, so in the story sums that we're going to go through today, there isn't a picture involved. Sometimes they can do that. Sometimes they can be mean and not give you a picture, but for the most part, they will give you a picture. But it's really important that we start understanding what the words are saying in the question. So we're going to go through to where they haven't given us a picture so that we can learn how to draw it. I'm going to give you all a chance to try and draw this picture, and then you're going to show me what your pictures look like in your cameras if you feel brave, and we're going to see how wildly different everyone's pictures are, and then we're going to do one together. Okay, so let's have a look at our first question. A woman is watching a boat on the ocean from the edge of a 300-meter high cliff. She calculates that the angle of depression from the cliff to the boat is 15 degrees. Determine how far the boat is from the base of the cliff to the nearest meter. Okay, important lines here. A woman is watching a boat on the ocean from the edge of a 300 meter high cliff. She calculates that the angle of depression from the cliff to the boat is 15 degrees. Determine how far the boat is from the base of the cliff. So now what I would love for you all to do is I'd love you to get some paper and pen and try and draw this out. Show me what you think that this would look like as a picture. Everyone try and draw it out and then show me what you think it will look like. We'll see who gets the closest to my picture. So read through it again, make sure you're sort of understanding what it's saying. And once you've got a picture, let me see. Oh, okay, I'm seeing something good there, Owami, but I'm needing to see some more lines where you're showing me angles. So give it your best go, try and draw out this picture and then show me what you've drawn so that I can have a look. Oh, okay. Flomla, what's 300 meters? Also, that poor woman is just chilling in midair. Like, she's gonna fall. She's not on anything. Canva, I like where it's going. I need to see angles involved, but I'm enjoying that I'm seeing the cliff and I'm seeing the boat. Belukazi, the line is looking good, but your angle of depression needs to be from the straight line going to the line that looks at the boat, not from the line to the cliff. I look like a crazy person with this computer light in the darkness. It's not great. It's not a great look for me. Let me see. Canva, that's Canva. That is looking beautiful. I just need to see your angle drawn in at the right place. Yes. Okay. Okay. Nice work, guys. I really enjoyed seeing your work. We should do this more often. Okay, so, oh, Sia, yes, how can I help?
Ma'am, look at my drawing.
Oh, so, Sia, I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to pick up my
Okay. So I like where your line is, I like where the boat is, I like the cliff, but your angle of depression is coming from the wrong place.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's try and have a look at what this would be. So, first thing, so that we don't have our person just chilling in the sky, like the one drawing, we've got a cliff. So we've got a cliff, and that cliff is 300 meters. That's my beautiful cliff, okay? And we've got a woman who is watching the boat at the top of that cliff, okay? She calculates the angle of depression from the cliff, so be careful saying from the cliff, not from her eyes. From the cliff to the boat is 15 degrees. So this is, let's get some accurate colors happening here. So this is my ocean. And then we have a boat on our ocean, because everyone wants a green boat. Who wouldn't want to be in a green boat? Okay. And they're telling us that the angle of depression from the cliff to the boat, the angle of depression, so going from that straight line down, Hlomla, you did have a person just chilling in the middle of nowhere. This angle of depression from that point down to that line is going to be 15 degrees. Okay, so that's basically what this picture is telling us. They are now asking us what is the distance between the base of the cliff and the boat. So we are trying to find out this. Now, there's some important things we need to take from this. The first thing we need to take is that when we deal with angles of elevation or depression, this line is always going to be parallel to that line. Okay, now when we have parallel lines involved, who can tell me what would be useful in this situation? Think about your geometry. Think about some. Okay, co-interior. Co-interior could be helpful. Something that will be more helpful when it comes to angles of depression and elevation is a different one though. Alternation, yeah, good. Okay, so if this angle, let's highlight them. If this line here is parallel to this line here, that means that this angle is alternate to this angle, which means they are equal to each other. Okay, so because of alternate angles, that would be 15. Now, if this was in a test situation and you were given a picture, you would have to say why that is 15 degrees. So let's just make that ourselves. Let's call this A, B, C. We would start by saying that angle ACB is equal to 15 degrees because of alt angles being equal. And let's just make this D because AD is parallel to BC. Now, if you want to test, those letters would be given to you, so you don't need to panic. Okay, do you see how maths all starts integrating with each other? How equations is part of trig, and how trig is part of the Cartesian plane, and trig is part of geometry. Like everything is mushed together. From grade 10 going up, it's all one thing. So that's our first step. Now we know that that's 15 degrees. Now we are looking for a side. We want to know what a side is. And so now we have to think about our rules that we learned in a lesson quite a while ago. The first thing, I'm going to write them here. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to label our triangle. The second thing we are going to do is we're going to say, what do we have? What do we want? The third thing we are going to do is we're going to choose our trig ratio based on what we have and what we want. Okay, so let's label this triangle. What is AC? O, A, or H? Hype, yes. Good. No, not A, guys. It's the line that's opposite our right angle. Hypotenuse. Okay, that's one we want to label first. Line that is touching our angle but is not our hypotenuse is A. Oh, good. Could have sung H or R. I really like that. That was a great answer. And then we're going to move to our last line, which is opposite our angle. So if that's our angle, this is opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Okay. So we have A, O, and H. Now my question to you is, what do we have and what do we want? What do we have? Canva. Yes, talk me through. Oh, no? Okay, good. So we have O, and we want A. Okay, we have O and we want A. So if we have O and we want A, let's quickly write out our things. So, okay. Toa. Okay, if we have O and we want A, then do we want to use sine, cos, or tan? Yes, guys, we want to use tan. Okay, because tan has got O and A, and that's what we're looking at over here. Okay, cool. So now we're going to say tan of 15 degrees is equal to opposite, which is 300 over x. Now, I know that this caused some confusion when we learned about it a couple of weeks ago, so I would like you all to please try and solve for x, but don't give the answer in the chat and don't say it out loud. I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to try and find x, and then I'm going to say go, and you can put it in the chat. So keep your answer to yourself just for 2 minutes so that everyone can have a chance to try and figure it out. And then I'll let you know when you can share. 1 more minute. Thirty more seconds. So far you can type it, but don't push send. So you can have your answers ready to send. And I wanted rounded off, remember the question said to the nearest meter. So no decimal places, I want it to the nearest meter. Go, tell me what the answer is. Okay, good. Okay, but so be careful. If it's 1119,6, if I was rounding off to the nearest meter, that 6 is going to change the 9 and it's going to become 1120. So yes, but just be careful there. So your 119s, guys, just be careful of your decimal place. So let's kind of go through this step by step where we would go to from here. The first thing we would do is we want to get this x up to the top there, right? Because we don't want to have a fraction anymore. So we would have tan 15 degrees times x is equal to 300. We are trying to isolate x. We want x to be alone. So now because I was timesing that tan 15, if I wanted to move it now, I would say 300 divided by tan 15. And when I get to this point here, I can just put that straight into my calculator and I would get x is equal to 1119,6. And if they wanted it to the nearest meter, it would be 1120 meters. Don't forget your units. So just be careful. The first thing we want to do is we want to move the x up and then we want to move the tan down. Okay, because we're trying to isolate that x. In the Bentley, how can I help?
I want to ask, so since the so I changed it, instead of in the picture where you have the 15 degrees, I had 75 degrees. So I made it tan 75 equals AB over 300. And then it became 300 tan 75 and I got the same answer. So is that fine?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Because then you're using this 75 degrees up here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's totally fine. 100% fine. Okay, let's try one more, guys. We're going to have one more like this, and then we're going to go into our quiz for the night. One more. Okay, a foofy slide. Does everyone know what a foofy slide is before I carry on? Yes? No? No? Okay. A foofy slide is like a, what else would you call it?
Like a zip line, ma'am.
Like a zip line. Yeah, it's like a zip line. Oh, please screenshot. Sure. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So a foofy slide is like a zip line. So it's like when you hang on to those things and you like go down a thing. Did I explain that really well, Coco?
I'm sorry, ma'am, I got kicked out of the class. I just got back and all I heard was zoom.
Because you're zooming down. You're zooming.
Okay, I assume, yes, that's the exact, yes.
Okay. It's like a zip line. Let's just think about it as a zip line. Okay, so a foofy slide is set up between two buildings and the ground as an emergency escape route. You have to Google it. Ground as an emergency escape route. The angle of elevation from the top of the shorter building to the taller building is 53,33, and the angle of depression to the ground from the shorter building is 60 degrees. Okay, now I'm going to help you draw this one out because it's quite a tricky one to draw. They would never give you a question like this without a drawing in a test. But let's try and talk it through together as we go through it. Okay, so the first thing is we've got two buildings and we're trying to get to the bottom. Then we've got the angle of elevation from the top of the shorter building to the taller building is 53,33. And the angle of depression to the ground from the shorter building is 60 degrees. Okay, so let's try to draw this out. we've got a tall building and we've got a short building. These are my buildings. All right. This fluffy slide or a zip line is set up between these two buildings so that the angle of elevation from the top of the shorter building, okay, so if this is this line here, the angle of elevation, this angle over here, from the top of the short building to the taller building is 53,33 degrees. And the angle of depression to the ground from the shorter building, this guy over here, that guy is 60 degrees. Okay. Now, the first thing that they are wanting is the distance between the buildings. So that's basically this line over here, this line. Sorry, I don't know why my highlighter's not working. Let's try that again, that line. Or you could do this line down here, it doesn't matter. The distance between the buildings, that's what this is talking about. And hence, the length of the slide, if the length of the first slide is 50 meters. Okay, so they're telling us that the first slide is 50 meters. And now we are wanting to find out, in this first question, I'm wanting to find x. Okay, that's the first part of this. We'll slowly start breaking down the rest of the question. We'll see how far we get to go with it. So if I am looking for x, at the moment, I am dealing with this triangle over here, okay? In that triangle, what information do I have? If I label it A, O, H, what do I have? What do I want? And what trig ratio am I going to use with what I have and what I want? Yeah, you try. So this is me just helping you a little bit. From here, I want you to try. So in this question, they are first wanting you to find x, and then they are wanting you to find y. And in y, you will be dealing with this triangle over here. Okay. Do your best. Tell me what x and y are going to be. Independently, yes. Can I ask you a question?
Ma'am, would x be 29.9?
It sounds very good. I'm not going to confirm or deny it just yet, just while people are working it, but I'm enjoying what you're saying. I'm not going to do the whole first part of x, but just for those who are getting there, we're going to be using cos. So we're going to say cos of 53,33 degrees is equal to x over 50. If you didn't get to that point, then something has gone wrong. Now, they haven't asked us to round this off to a whole number. So I would keep this as 2 decimal places. Unless they ask us to round it off to a whole number, don't. So all we're going to do here is we're saying cos 53,33 degrees times by 50 is equal to x, and that means that x is equal to 29,96 meters. So very well done to those of you who got 29,9, even those of you who got 30, because you just rounded off to a whole number, which is, I understand why you did that. Okay, now you have this. So now you've got x. X is now 29. Let me put it in a darker color. 29,86. Okay, so you have that information, which means now you can find y. So now you can calculate y, and then you've answered the whole of a. And keep it as 2 decimal places for me. Loma, I think so. I have to set the quizzes like a week before the week, so I lose track of what was in what, but I'm fairly certain these are in this week's quiz. So Lorato, I think all that happened was you didn't use 2 decimal places. I think you used 59, I think you used 29,9, but it's you're on the right track. I like it. Okay. So now to find y, we're going to be using this orange triangle, right? And we would say that now it's going to be, this is adjacent and this is hypotenuse. So we're saying cos of 60 degrees. Oh no, why? Why? Sorry guys, my screen seems to be frozen. I might be having internet issues. Give me a second.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry. She's run off again. I'm really sorry, guys. We'll give her 1 minute, and if she's not back in 1 minute, then I will get my vocal cords ready. Okay, but she's back, guys. She saved me again. I'm so happy.
I'm so tired of load shedding.
I'm so sorry.
Makes me so sad. And I didn't even get to hear you sing.
I'm glad you always come back just in time. You're always just saving me.
Makes me so sad. Okay. All right. So here we've got cos 60. Okay. Cos 60. Let's just cos 60. Oh no, why is my screen still not working? Oh, it's because I'm on a white pen. We're fine, guys. Don't worry. Okay. Cos 60 is equal to 29,89. Now, if you rounded that off, 86, sorry. If you rounded that off, you're going to get a different number. That's why we always try and keep it to 2 decimal places. Over hypotenuse, which is y. So we're going to move our y up. Y times cos 60 is equal to 29,86. And now we're looking for y. So we are going to divide that by cos 60. And you should get y is equal to 59,72 meters. So we have found x and we have found y. I hope people were able to get that far. Well done for anyone who landed up getting those right. That's really awesome. Okay, so now we know that this is 59,72. Okay, and then you could either use Pythagoras or you could use trig. It doesn't matter which one you use, but if you are now looking for the height of each building, you would be looking for this height over here and this height over here. We unfortunately don't have time now because it's a quiz day to go over that, but I can start our lesson on Tuesday by going over this last question. So if you'd like to take a screenshot of this last question, you're welcome to try B by yourselves, and then I'll go over the answers at the beginning of our lesson on Tuesday. I'm very sorry that it has been a disruptive lesson with me coming in and out. Load shedding was not my friend today. I will be here. Oh, how do you type this into your calculator? Okay, so Kabi, just stay here. I'll chat to you. I'm just going to let Coco take over and help everyone else get onto the quiz so long. But Kabi, I'll send you a private message, okay? And everyone else, I'm handing you over to Coco. I'm still here. I'm just passing the mic on to you.
All right, guys. So there are two things that we're going to